British Columbia Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
Good morning. It's a good day and you're listening to BCIT's The Crow. I'm Kai Garcia and these are your news headlines at 10:30. In national news, Canada Post may go on strike again after existing deals between the Crown and employee union will expire on May 22nd. It would mark the second time under 6 months where operations would halt. Canada Post continues to struggle to meet workers' demands as they are in a tight financial situation. David Augustine has more on what that might entail.
As the existing deals between the Crown Corporation and the union are set to expire on May 22nd, Canada Post employees could be headed back to the picket line in just over 2 weeks. A strike or lockout would mark the second time in under 6 months that the Postal Service ground to a halt after 55,000 employees walked off the job at the end of last year. Experts note that Canada Post's dire financial situation means it may struggle to meet workers halfway on their contract demands. The two sides have agreed to resume negotiations supported by a mediator after bargaining broke off back in March. David Augustine, The Canadian Press.
In politics, BC Member of Parliament Don Davies was chosen as the new interim leader of the NDP after the party's council chose him to succeed Jagmeet Singh, who stepped down last week after the federal election concluded. He was at the memorial mass in Burnaby for the Lapu-Lapu incident last night when the decision was made. He later talked to Prime Minister Mark Carney, who wanted to congratulate him. Our producer, Patrick McConnell, has more on who Davies is.
Thanks, Kai. Davies squeaked into his seat in Vancouver Kingsway by only 303 seats. He's operated as the NDP's health and finance critic in the past, where he advocated for dental and pharmacare legislation. Be interesting to see if he actually does stay on with the NDP leader. Other things we're going to be covering today are how BC is responding to the devastating Lapu-Lapu attacks in Vancouver. Also, how a actress is navigating Vancouver's drama scene, and one woman's journey playing sport to keep her mental health in shape. Back to you, Kai.
Thank you, Patrick, for that information. As for the Conservative Party, they are meeting for the first time this week after the outcome of the federal elections. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre will chair the meeting in Ottawa today. He also comments on Prime Minister Mark Carney's trip to Washington, D.C., where he is meeting with the U.S. President Donald Trump.
We want to wish Prime Minister Carney a positive meeting. We hope that the President will honor our sovereignty and signal an end to these tariffs.
More on that meeting, Prime Minister Carney told Donald Trump that Canada will never be for sale. Trump was questioned on his past comments made on Canada becoming the 51st state of America. Trump downplayed the suggestion in comparison to his previous tone in the last few months, stating that it takes two to tango. But he did not turn down the idea of annexation, and he said it could be a wonderful marriage if it could happen. Trump says that regardless of what happens, the U.S. and Canada will always be friends. The public portion of the meeting was cordial as Carney called Trump a transformational president, and Trump said Carney was a very talented person. In the financial side, the price of the oil is up after the energy sector boosted Canada's main stock index while the U.S. stock markets fell. The Dow Jones, S&P 500, and the Nasdaq were all down. As for currencies, yesterday Canadian dollar goes up in value while the U.S. dollar goes down. Cardinals for the pre-conclave meetings as they enter the conclave tomorrow afternoon will elect the new pope following the death of Pope Francis. Tricia Thomas has more on the election and how the Vatican is preparing for the big event.
The Vatican is busy with last-minute arrangements to get ready for the conclave to elect the next pope, which starts Wednesday afternoon. Today, the cardinals will be able to go into the Santa Marta residence inside the Vatican walls for the first time. They will be staying there throughout the conclave, and the Vatican has set up a jamming system, so they will not have access to internet or cell phones, so that the conclave will be conducted in complete secrecy. The only way we will know of the election of a pope is when we see white smoke coming out of the chimney on top of the Sistine Chapel behind me. Tricia Thomas at the Vatican.
Those were your news headlines at 10:30. I'm Kai Garcia for BCIT's The Crow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikakane.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretanero.
And I'm Radhika Sikakane. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.
Good morning, I'm James Ngo, and these are your sports headlines to 1040. In hockey, the Toronto Maple Leafs defeated the Florida Panthers 5-4 to win Game 1 of their second-round matchup. The Leafs held a 4-1 lead after 2 periods of play, but Florida scored 2 quick goals to start the third, bringing the game within 1. In the end, it was Leafs forward Matthew Nyes who scored a late one to put the game out of reach.
Yeah, I just saw that I could spring myself past their D, and Mitchie made a great play on the wall there to get it to me. I just wanted to beat him high on the glove side. I think we did a lot of video, and I thought that I got him earlier in the regular season. I just wanted to elevate that one, and worked out for me.
Despite the win, there is cause for concern in Leafland. Goaltender Alex Stolars was pulled from the game in the second period with an injury and was taken to a nearby hospital. Backup Joseph Wold came into the game for relief and will likely start the next few games as Stolars goes under further evaluation. There are 2 more NHL games scheduled today. At 4 p.m., the Carolina Hurricanes travel to D.C. to play the Washington Capitals. Both teams are coming off a strong first-round showing and look to continue that trend here. The 2 teams faced each other in the 2019 playoffs, with the Canes upsetting the then-defending Stanley Cup champions. Afterwards, the Oilers head to the Sin City to play the Vegas Golden Knights at 6:30. Both teams were down in their respective series, but rallied back to win and advance to round 2. This is a rematch of the 2023 second round, where Vegas defeated Edmonton in 6 games. The New York Islanders have won the NHL Draft Lottery and will possess the first overall pick in the NHL Draft. The Islanders were previously expected to pick around 10th overall, but the luck of the draw saw them jump up to number 1. This is the 5th time the Islanders picked first overall, most recently selecting John Tavares first overall in 2009. The Utah Hockey Club was the other big mover in this draft, moving up 10 spots to the 4th overall pick. The Vancouver Canucks did not move up, meaning they will stay with the 15th overall pick. The only other time the Canucks held this selection was 2022, selecting forward Jonathan Lekkerimäki. Over to basketball, 2 NBA games came down to the wire last night, with the Knicks and Nuggets emerging victorious in 2 stunning Game 1 upsets. The Knicks beat the Boston Celtics 108-105 in a back-and-forth game that went into overtime. OG Anunoby and Jalen Brunson each scored 29 points for the Knicks in their win. The Celtics missed an NBA record 45 three-point attempts, a brutal blow in a 3-point loss. Meanwhile, in Oklahoma City, the Denver Nuggets defeated the Oklahoma City Thunder 121-119. Nuggets center Nikola Jokic scored 42 points, while guard Aaron Gordon hit a 3-pointer with 2.8 seconds remaining to give the Nuggets the win.
Brown grabs it. 7 seconds left. Westbrook, 5 seconds. They're down by 1. Gordon got it! Aaron Gordon with a deep shot. Williams, 3-quarter court. No good! The Nuggets steal Game 1!
Russell Westbrook, who started his career in Oklahoma City, got the assist on the game-winning shot, as well as scoring 18 points himself. Both Game 2s are scheduled for tomorrow. With those games now in the past, we move on to the 2 games today. At 4 p.m., the Indiana Pacers and Cleveland Cavaliers play Game 2 of their series. The Pacers were able to win Game 1 in Cleveland and hope to do it again before heading back home. Then, at 6:30, the Golden State Warriors and Minnesota Timberwolves play Game 1 of their series. Both teams pulled off stunning upsets in Round 1 and will try to pull off another miracle in Round 2. In baseball, the Toronto Blue Jays kick off a 3-game series against the Los Angeles Angels after taking Monday off. Toronto has yet to name a starter for the match today, while the Angels have announced left-hander Tyler Anderson as their starter. Both teams lost their respective series over the weekend and look to try and turn their seasons around. The Blue Jays won all 7 games against the Angels last season. The game will be played in Anaheim and will start at 7 p.m. That's all for now. Thank you for listening. Once again, I'm James Ngo, and you're listening to BCIT's The Crow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikakane.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Trentonero.
And I'm Radhika Sikakane.